For today, I'm going to review, make sure that this is recording here. I'm going to review a famous book called The 48 Laws of Power. Now, these are principles for life that will help you in terms of positioning yourself and getting the results that you want. These are basically wisdom principles, okay? Now, the first one I'd like to talk about is never outshine the master, okay? Always make those above you feel comfortably superior. In your desire to please or impress them, do not go too far in displaying your talents, or you might establish the opposite. Inspire fear and insecurity. Make your masters appear more brilliant than they are, and you will attain the heights of power. So here's the thing: when you try to outshine the master, you basically have created an enemy. Where you created jealousy or envy, and it's basically going to create an enemy. Okay, it's one thing you don't want. Okay, and the other part is you want the spotlight to be shined on them, not on you. Do you understand what I'm saying? And there's lots of reasons for that, but that's basically what it is. Law number two. That was law number one. Law number two. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Be wary of friends. They will betray you more quickly, for they are easily aroused to envy. Also become spoiled and tyrannical. But hire a former enemy and he will be more loyal than a friend, because he has more to prove. In fact, you have more to fear from friends than your enemies. If you have no enemies, find a way to make them. And making enemies is quite easy. Okay? Making friends is not as easy. Okay? But the problem with friends are they're the type of people you don't expect are going to do things versus your enemies you do expect. You understand? Okay. Law number three: conceal your intentions. All right. Keep people off balance and in the dark by never revealing the purpose behind your actions. If they have clear, no clear, yeah, also it's not clear. If they have no clue what you are up to, they cannot prepare a defense. Guide them far enough down the wrong path and envelop them in enough smoke. And by the time they realize your intentions, it will be too late. So it's very simple. It's just like the saying, don't show your cards. You don't want to disclose what you want to do. And I've found in my life also, this is very true. Okay, let me explain why. If you tell people what you're going to do, number one, they might try to stop you for various reasons, whether it be envy, whether it be that they have a disdain for you, or or maybe your enemy knows and they want to stop you as well, and maybe do harm to you. Conceal your intentions. Don't tell people what you're going to do. Here's the thing: just do it, and after you've done it, you can talk about it. But don't do it. Don't talk about it. Do it. Do you understand? Law number four: always say less than necessary. And this is the proverbial less is more. Okay, you don't want to speak too much. A fool speaks too much. It's on a need. Otherwise, just as the military would say, it's on a need to know basis. And if they don't need to know, they shouldn't know. So, as the author goes on to say, when you are trying to impress people with words, the more you say, the more calming you appear, and the less in control. Even if you're saying something banal, which means ordinary, uninteresting, right? It will it will seem original if you Make it vague, open-ended, and sphinxable. Oh, sorry, sphinx-like, which means like a puzzle. Be puzzled. Powerful people impress, intimidate by saying less. The more you say, the more likely you are to say something foolish. That's right. See, the problem is every time you speak, it's like playing chess because you have to make sure you're going to make the right move. Okay? Keep that in mind. Number five, so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Reputation is worth more than money. Reputation is what gives value to people. That is your in for doing things. You understand? Reputation is a cornerstone of power. Through reputation alone, you can intimidate and win. Once it slips, however, you are vulnerable and will be attacked on all sides. Make your reputation unassailable. Always be alert to potential attacks and thwart them before they happen. Meanwhile, learn to destroy your enemies by opening holes in their reputations. Then stand aside and let public opinion hang them. Right? Many things get done by reputation, so protect it. Okay? Law number 6: court attention at all costs. Everything is judged by the appearance, whether everything is judged by its appearance. What it is unseen counts for nothing. Never let yourself get lost in the crowd, then or be buried in oblivion. Stand out. Be conspicuous at all costs. Make yourself a magnet of attention by appearing larger, more colorful, more mysterious than the bland and timid masses. So basically, law number 4 and 6 have to be balanced. Yes, you don't want to talk too much, but at the same time, what you have to offer has to stick out. Okay? Doesn't mean talk a lot, just means you need to stand out. It means you have to be different than others. Law number 7: get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. This is typical for politicians. Okay? They will take credit for what they do, but if something goes wrong, they say, well, so and so did it. It's not my fault. It's his fault, right? So use the wisdom, knowledge, and legwork of other people to further your own cause. Not only will such assistance save valuable time and energy, it will give you a godlike aura of efficiency and speed. In the end, your helpers will be forgotten and you will be remembered. Never do yourself what others can do for you. It basically means use others to do things that you can do. There's various reasons for that. One, to save of time, and two, so that way you can take credit for when things go right, and you can disavow credit right when things go wrong. Law number 8: make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Now this is part of getting attention. The thing is, if people go to you, you're on different terms than if you go to them. Do you understand? When you force the other person to act, you are the one in control. It is always better to make your opponent come to you, abandoning his own plans in the process. Lure him with fabulous gains, then attack. You hold the cards. Basically, it's a bait. You need to have something to get people to go to you. That's what it is. Law number 9: win through your actions, never through arguments. Sort of like the idea is actions speak louder than words. Well, arguments don't win things, but actions do. Any momentary triumph you think have gained through argument is really a Pyrrhic victory. So it's basically like fireworks. It's quick and then it goes away. Resentment will also stir up a stronger and last longer than any other monetary change of opinion. It is much more powerful to get others to agree with you through your actions without saying a word. Demonstrate, do not explicate, which means explaining things. Okay, law number 10, inspection. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. All right. So here are some reasons. Number one, for unhappy, you don't want to become like them. And unlucky people more than likely are making the wrong decisions or are connected to the wrong people. You don't want to be around the wrong people. You can die from someone else's misery, emotional states, or as infectious as diseases. The more you are relied on, the more freedom you have. Most people depend on their happiness and prosperity to make nothing to fear. And of course, they have nothing to fear. Never teach them enough so that they can do without you. It's basically saying you need to have people reliant on you or dependent on you. Okay? Now, there are some applications where this is true. For example, in the business sense, if nobody needs your services, then you're not valuable. Right? If you're in a job and you want job security, you need to make sure that you're always needed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Law number 12. Use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Okay, this is sort of like a biblical principle in a way where if you want to overcome evil, you overcome evil with good. Well, honesty is a powerful thing. Honesty is something that has to be respected because it is what it is. And generosity is a greater form of kindness. When you're kind to people, whether it be genuine, you're kind and you're generous, you get allies. Also, you get rid of enemies. You can possibly convert your enemy to your friend. And also, you can get favors from people who maybe are neither your enemy or your friend. Now, as the author says, our sincere and honest move will cover our dozens of dishonest ones. Open hearted gestures of honesty and generosity bring down the guard of even the most suspicious people. Once your selective honesty opens a hole in their armor, you can deceive and manipulate them at will. A timely gift, a Trojan horse, will serve all the same purpose. Of course, this is where you have to be careful why people give what you give, okay? Now, law number 13, when asking for help, appeal to people's self interest, never their mercy or gratitude. Okay? Self interest means it has to be beneficial to them. If you need to turn an ally, if you need to turn to an ally for help, do not bother to remind him in this case, of your past assistance and good deeds. He will find a way to ignore you. Because in this case, he's like, well, then of course he owes you something, right? Or you're trying to make the guy feel guilty. No. Instead, uncover something in your requests or in your alliance with him that will benefit him. And emphasize it uh, out of his of all proportion. He'll respond enthusiastically when he needs something to be gained for himself. So it's the proverbial, what is it? What's in it for me? Now, law number 14, pose as a friend or as a spy. Knowing about your rival is critical. Use spies to gather valuable information that will help you keep a step ahead. Better still, play the spy yourself. In polite social encounters, learn to probe. Ask indirect questions to get people to reveal weaknesses and intentions. There is no occasion that is not an opportunity for artful spy. Basically, when you need to get information, you need to probe in an indirect way. You need to ask in an indirect way to get information. Okay? You need to pose as an ally or a friend and not an enemy, obviously, but someone who's friendly to them. Do you understand? All right, law number 15, crush your enemy totally. All great leaders since Moses have been known as a feared enemy must be crushed completely. Sometimes they have learned this the hard way. If a member, if one ember, sorry, I keep saying a member, if one ember is left alight, no matter how dimly it smolders, a fire will eventually break out. More is lost, though, stopping halfway than through total annihilation. The enemy will recover and will seek revenge, crush him not only in body but in spirit. So make sure he's thoroughly defeated. Cannot come back from the battle. Use absence to increase respect and honor. Too much circulation makes the price go down. The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. If you are already established in a group, temporarily withdraw from it and it will make you be talked about, even more admired. You must learn when to leave. Create value through scarcity. So if you're always around, people won't see you as valuable because they'll see you as ordinary. If you're somebody who's not around, you also have something maybe mysterious. You also have something that they like to have because you're not around. You understand? Law number 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Be unpredictable. Humans are creatures of habit with an insatiable need to see familiarity in other people's actions. Your predictability gives them a sense of control. Turn the tables. Be deliberately unpredictable. Behavior that seems to have no consistency or purpose will keep them off balance, and they will wear themselves out trying to explain your moves. Taken to an extreme, this strategy can intimidate and terrorize. Okay? It's not an advantage to be predictable because you don't want people to know what you're going to do. So a lot of these concepts are similar and they cross over. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. The world is dangerous and enemies are everywhere. Everyone has to protect themselves. The fortress seems the safest, but isolation exposes you to more dangers than it protects you from. It cuts you off from valuable information. It makes you conspicuous of any easy target. Better to circulate among people. Find allies, mingle. You are shielded from your enemies by the crowd. Meaning you need to know what's going on around you. You can't isolate yourself. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. Well, of course. That's pretty straightforward. There are many different kinds of people in this world, and you can never assume that everyone will react to your strategies in the same way. Deceive or outmaneuver some people, and they will spend the rest of their lives seeking revenge. They are wolves in lamb's clothing. Choose your victims and opponents carefully. Then they will never offend or deceive the wrong person. Okay? Of course, you want to choose your opponents well because you don't want to choose the wrong one. Will beat you. And victims, you want to find, when they say victims, I mean referring to people that will be the be on the other side of what you're doing. You want to make sure it's not people who can retaliate in a way that will hurt you. Now, don't commit to anyone. It is the fool who always rushes to take sides. Do not commit to any side or cause but yourself. By maintaining your independence, you will become the master of others, playing people against one another, making them pursue you. Here it is. If you quickly commit to something, it becomes a foolishness. It becomes foolishness because you don't know who you're committing to, or maybe you committed to the wrong person. If you stay neutral, you're not committing to anybody. There's a lot less liability. Now, play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. This goes back to the idea is you don't want people to let on what your talents are and what you know. No one likes feeling stupider than the next person. To trick them is to make your victims feel smart. Not just smart, but smarter than you are. Once convinced of this, well, they will never suspect that you have ulterior motives. You want your opponents to do the talking and to give you the information, not you. And you want them to feel good, so they will give you the information. You understand? Now, use a surrender tactic. Transform weaknesses into power. When you are weaker, never fight for honor's sake. Choose surrender instead. Surrender gives you time to recover, time in torment and irritate your conqueror. Time to wait for his power to wane. Do not give him the satisfaction of fighting and defeating you. Surrender first. By turning the other cheek, you infuriate and unsettle him. Make surrender a tool of power. So basically, it's kind of like this: if you can't win the battle, and if all you need to do is just let surrender for the time being, just to wait them out so you can overcome them, then that's what you do. It's basically feigning feigning a weakness. Okay, if you pretend that he's the winner, in reality you're just playing dead. Okay, that's another expression. Concentrate your forces. This is law number 23. Conserve your forces and energy by keeping them concentrated in their strongest point. You gain more by finding a rich mine and mining it deeper than filling it with shallow one mine to another. Intensify defeats um, intensity over time. When looking for sources of power to elevate, you find the one key patron, the fat cow who will give you milk for a long time to come. Yes, you need to focus on your strengths, not focus on your weaknesses. And you want to focus your energy on what will produce you good results. Law number 24, play the perfect courtier. The perfect courtier thrives in a world where everything revolves around power and political dexterity. He has mastered the art of indirection. He flatters, yields to superiors, and asserts power over others. He is the most oblique and graceful manner. Learn and apply the laws of courtship, and there will be no limit on how you can rise in the court. Okay, so you need to be able to be flexible politically, is what he's trying to say. Recreate law number 25. Recreate yourself. Do not accept the roles that society voice on you. Recreate yourself by forging a new identity, one that commands attention and never uh, bores the audience. Be the master of your own image rather than letting others define it for you. Incorporate dramatic devices into your public gestures and actions. Your power will be enhanced when your character will seem larger than life. Yes, you never want other people to influence you, you want to influence them. And you want to express things in dramatic ways to greatly communicate your influence and your message. On number 26, keep your hands clean. You must seem a paragon of civility and efficiency. Your hands are never soiled by the mistakes and nasty deeds. Keep such a spotless appearance by using others as scapegoats and cat paws to disguise your involvement. Yes, you never want to get directly involved in something where you're going to take the blame, or you're going to be, uh, you will take damage to your character, your reputation, etc. Now, law number 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult like following. People have an overwhelming desire to believe in something. Become the focal point of such desire by offering them a cause, a new faith to follow. Keep your words vague but full of promise. Emphasize enthusiasm over rationality and clear thinking. Give your new disciples rituals to perform and ask them to make sacrifices on your behalf. In the absence of organized religion and grand causes, your new belief system will bring you untold power. It's basically like saying um, you want people to follow you and not question your belief system too much. Okay? And you want the people who follow you to do things for them. Law number 28. Enter action with boldness. If you are unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitations will infect your execution. Timidity is dangerous. Better to enter with boldness. Any mistakes you commit through audacity are easily corrected with audacity. Everyone admires the bold, no one honors the timid. So if you're going to do something confidently with a boldness, meaning with courage. Law number 29, plan all the way to the end. The ending is everything. Plan all the way to it. Taking into account all the possible consequences, obstacles, twists of fortune that might reverse your hard work and give the glory to others. By planning to the end, you will not be overwhelmed by circumstances, and you will know when to stop. Gently guide fortune and help determine the future for thinking for ahead. It means you need to plan in advance all the way from the beginning to the end. So you know the beginning and the end. On number 30, make your accomplishments seem effortless. Actions must seem natural and executed with ease. All the toil and practice that goes with it, and also all the clever tricks must be concealed. When you act effortlessly as if you could do much more. Avoid the temptation of revealing how hard you work. It only raises questions. Teach no one your tricks, or they will be used against you. So, you want to show when you make things look effortless, you want to show that you're competent and that you're good at what you do. You don't want to teach your tricks to anybody else because when they learn it, they might use it against you. Understand? Law number 31, control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. So basically, you want to control the conditions. The best deceptions are the ones that seem to give the other person a choice. Your victims feel like they're in control, but actually, you're puppets. Give people options that come out in your favor, whichever uh, one they choose. Force them to make choices between the lesser of two evils, both of which serve your purpose. Put them in the horns of a dilemma. They are gored wherever they turn. So Basically, you have to present options to them, either that no matter whatever option they choose, is to your benefit. You need to present in such a way that's a better that the choice they're going to make is the better between the two. Okay? Now, play to people's fantasies. That's law number 32. Truth is often avoided because it's ugly and unpleasant. Never appeal to truth in reality unless you are prepared for the anger that comes with disenchantment. Life is so harsh and distressing that people who can manufacture romance or conjure up fantasy are oases of the desert. Everyone flocks to them. There is a great power in tapping into the fantasies of the masses. Okay? So when you tap into the fantasy, basically it's like, okay, if you do this, this is what could be good for you. Although it's not true, or maybe it's unlikely, that's kind of like the sales pitch. That's what convinces them to do what you want. Law number 33: discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has a weakness, a gap in the castle wall. That weakness is usually an insecurity or uncontrollable emotion or need. It can also be a small secret pleasure. Either way, once found the thumbscrew, you can turn to your advantage. You need to find your opponent's weaknesses and then use it against them. On number 34, be royal in your own fashion. Act like a king to be treated like one. So, in other words, if you want to be treated like a king, act like one. The way you carry yourself will often determine how you are treated. In the long run, approaching vulgar or common will make people disrespect you, for a king respects himself and inspires the same sentiment in others. By acting regally and confident of your powers, you make yourself seem destined to wear it. Yes, you need to you need to carry yourself confidently and inspire um, respect from other people. So that's what it is. You have to respect yourself before you're going to be respected others. Okay? Law number 35: master the art of timing. Never seem to be in a hurry. Hurrying betrays a lack of control over yourself. And over time, always seem patient as if you know that everything will come to you eventually. Become a detective of the right moment. Sniff out the spirit of the times. The trends will carry you to power. Learn to stand back when the time is yet right, and strike fiercely when you reach fruition. It means it when it's come to pass. You gotta be patient, wait for the right time for, for things, and when it comes, and act when it's when things are ready to happen. On number 36, disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. So if you cannot have it, best thing to do is just ignore it. By acknowledging a petty problem, you will give it existence and credibility. The more attention you pay an enemy, the stronger you will make it. And a small mistake is often made worse, the more visible when you try to fix it. It is sometimes best to leave things alone. If there is something you want but cannot have, show contempt for it. The less interest in you reveal, the more superior you seem. So if it's something you cannot have, don't be interested in it. Don't give attention to it. Okay? Now, law number 37: create compelling spectacles. When they say spectacles, it's like something that people can see. Striking imagery and grand symbolic gestures create the aura of power. Everyone responds to them. Stage spectacles for those around you, full of arresting visuals and radiant symbols that heighten your presence. Dazzled by appearance, no one will notice that you what you're really doing. It's basically like a diversion. You want to get attention to people, but in a way that diverts away from what you're really trying to do. It's a very common tactic, okay? Law number 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. So thinking is one thing and behaving is another. If you make a show of going against the times, flaunting your unconventional ideas in unorthodox ways, people will think that you just want attention and that you just look down on them. They will find a way to punish you for making them feel inferior. It is far safer to blend in and nurture the common touch. Share your originality only with tolerant friends and those who are sure to appreciate your uniqueness. So in this case, you don't want to show that you're unique when it comes to flaunting. You don't want to flaunt things in a way that makes other people feel inferior. Similar to law number one. Okay? And you only show your uniqueness to people who will appreciate it. Not everybody will appreciate it, so you need to only show it to people who will appreciate it. Now, law number 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Anger and emotion are strategically counterproductive. You must always stay calm and objective. But if you can make your enemies angry while staying calm yourself, you gain a decisive advantage. Put your enemies off balance. Find the chink in the vanity through which you rattle them and hold the strings. So remember, you want to get them angry, but you want to stay calm. You understand? And when you have the advantage over them, that's when you can get, and that's when you have an advantage over them. On number 40, despise the free lunch. The free lunch is someone's giving you something to you for free. Meaning, don't like something that's given to you for free. What is offered for free is dangerous. It usually involves either a trick or a hidden obligation. What has worth is worth paying for. By applying your own way, you stay clear of gratitude, guilt, and deceit. So you don't want to owe anybody a favor, you don't want to owe anybody a thank you don't want to feel bad about it, and you don't want to be deceived. It's often wise to pay the full price. There is no cutting corners with excellence. Be lavish with your money and keep it circulating, for generosity is a sign and a magnet for power. Kindness can be powerful, it can be used for good or for evil. But kindness is definitely powerful. It is a way that you can curry favor and gain allies or favors from people. Understand? So what you want to do is go protect against that and not owe anybody anything, any favors, anything like that. Law number 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. What happens first always appears better and more original than what it comes after. If you succeed a great man, have a great parent, you will have to accomplish double their accomplishments to outshine them. Do not get lost in the shadows or stuck in the past, not of your own making. Establish your own name and identify by changing course. Slay the overbearing father, disparage his legacy, and gain power by shining in your own way. Basically, don't try to be someone else. Don't try to be or even like someone else. Be yourself. Don't be in his shadow. For example, okay, he's in this profession and you're going to do his profession too. Or he's this way and you're going to be this way too. No. You want to be outside of that shadow, okay? You don't, when you're in his shadow, then he becomes overbearing. You don't want that. You don't want his legacy tied to you. You want to be making the legacy. You want to be the one who shines, not the one who you are trying to be. Okay? Law number 42, strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Basically, it's like when you eliminate the leadership, the followers will scatter. Trouble can often be traced to a single strong individual. The stirrer, the arrogant underling, the poisoner of goodwill. If you allow such people room to operate, others will succumb to the influence. Do not wait for the troubles that they cause to multiply. Do not try to negotiate with them. They are irredeemable. Neutralize their influence by isolating and banishing them. Strike at the source of trouble, and the sheep will scatter. Okay. So what I said was leadership, but um, it, this can be symbolic. So basically, you need to get rid of the trouble. That way, everything else associated with it will leave as well. All right. Now let's go to law number 43. Work on the hearts and minds of others. Now this is particularly important for people who are religious or have an agenda to sell. Coercion creates a reaction that will eventually work against you. You must seduce others into wanting to move in your direction. The person you have seduced becomes your loyal patron. Did I say patron? Oh, sorry, pawn. And the way to seduce others is to operate in the individual psychologies and weaknesses. Soften up the soften up the resistant, meaning the people who are resisting. Soften up the resistant by working into their emotions, playing on what they hold dear and what they fear. Ignore the hearts and minds of others that will grow to hate you. Okay? Only pay attention to the hearts and minds of people like you, love you, right? And then you need to play on their emotions to get them to do what you to get them what they hold dear. So right here it says, okay, soften up their resistant. So people are resistant to you, with you want to influence by working their emotions, using their emotions to influence them, and playing up what they hold dear and fear. What is it? They manipulate a person by considering what's important to them, what's very valuable to them, and also their fears, playing off their fears as well. On number 44, disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. The mirror reflects reality, but it's also the perfect tool for deception. When you mirror your enemies doing exactly as they do, they cannot figure out your strategy. The mirror effect mocks and humiliates them, making them overreact. By holding up a mirror to their psyches, you seduce them with the illusion that you must share their values. By holding up a mirror to their actions, you teach them a lesson. You can resist the power of the mirror effect. Okay, so you basically do what they do and expose what they do. Okay. Law number 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. Everyone understands the need for change in the abstract, but on the day to day level, people are creatures of habit. Too much innovation is traumatic and will lead to revolts. If you're new to a position of power and an outsider trying to build power base, make a show of respecting the old way of doing things. If change is necessary, make it feel like it's a gentle improvement over the past. This is almost quite self explanatory. I'm not sure if I could have said it better myself. So basically, don't try to change things too much. Only phase in the changes a little at a time. Okay? That's law number 45. Let's move on to law 46. Never appear too perfect. Appearing better than others is always dangerous, but most dangerous of all is to appear to have no faults or weaknesses. Envy creates silent enemies. It is smart to occasionally display defects and admit to harmless vices. In order to deflect envy and appear more human and more approachable, only gods and the dead can seem perfect with impunity, means without any consequence. So God Himself, because He's perfect, and the dead, because you can't change it. So here's the thing: is when you say too perfect, it's basically like a show off or a bragger. Nobody likes that. And the other reason is because you want to connect with people on their level. Okay? Politicians know this very well, also, because they're good at communicating and working with people on their level. Law number 47, do not go past the mark you aim for. In victory, learn when to stop. It's kind of like the analogy with stock market investing, where they say, okay, you have a goal of how much profit you make, and once you make the profit, you get out of the trade, right? In day trading. Same kind of thing as they're saying here. The moment of victory is also the moment of greatest peril. And the heat of victory, arrogance, and overconfidence can push you past the goal that you're aimed for. And by going too far, you may make enemies than you defeat. More enemies than you defeat. It's just like in chess too, is the hardest position to win is a one game. Because when you in a one game, you kind of drop your guard, and you're not as motivated to play well. Okay? You sort of start dropping your guard and underestimating your opponent. And here's the last law: assume formlessness. By taking a shape to having a visible plan, you open yourself to attack instead of taking form for your enemy to grasp. Keep yourself adaptable and on the move. Accept the fact that nothing is certain and no law is fixed. The best way to protect yourself is to be fluid and formless as water. Never be on stability or lasting order. Everything changes. So when you're set in stone, you can't change. You have to be fluid and changeable and adaptable. Once you're adaptable and changeable, you can adapt to the circumstances and change and win the battle, win the situation, conquer your opponents. Okay? So basically, these are 48 laws. Now, I do want to point out I'm only doing this for review purposes. I just wanted to give the 48 laws, okay? Now, there. Okay, so there is an explanation, I believe, when you go past that. This is where I won't go into it because I'm not going to fully read out a book. I'm just giving a review, an overview of the book. Okay? This will give you a more detailed explanation, I believe, for each one. Okay, so um, the intention is not to take credit for the work. The intention is only to bring attention to the author of their work, giving them credit for their work because I'm not trying to take credit for it. All I'm trying to do is communicate the value of their work, and so people can be informed about their work. Okay? It is a right according to the Fair Use Act of 1976. So, this is the 48 Laws of Power, and by Robert Greene. He is the one who has the right, and the publisher, and or possibly the publisher, or one or both of them, have rights to the intellectual property. I'm just communicating the main ideas. Understand? Okay. I encourage you, if you like this, get a full explanation of the 40, all 48, I recommend that you read the full book. In fact, by me doing this review is basically like free advertising for the author to publish, well, to sell his published book. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this, and hopefully you saw the value of the wisdom in this. I would like to ask you to please click like and please click subscribe so you'll have access to all my videos. And also click the bell if you haven't already so you'll be informed of all the future videos. I'd like to thank you again for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it and found value, and I wish you